Hey everybody, hope you've been well. Today we're looking at a special review. We will be having a look at Beastwars Cicadacon. Now, Cicadacon came in a set of 3 figures, and we'll have a look at those too after this review, but for now we're looking at Cicadacon, and many of you probably already know why they come together, but if you don't, it's fairly easy to guess. I'll leave it at that. As you can see, he is a pretty decent representation of a cicada. He does a good job of emulating that form. Got that very nice characteristic broad head with the large eyes, painted red in this case, and that if you look in the direct middle of the head, in that white area, you can see those horizontal lines. That is a characteristic found in the cicadas and their close relatives, like the leafhoppers. It is a large muscle called the clypeus, which is what enables this suctatorial mouth part to function. It allows them to pull up large amounts of liquid from their quarry, like plants usually. I believe they're almost exclusively herbivorous. They prey on the liquids of fruit and various other types of vegetables and things of that sort. And he's got some nice broad wings on him, doesn't he? Look at that. There's some nice pitting in the wings. There's some veins sculpted in there too, and you can see this red bit underneath. Those are weapons. I'll show you that in a second. Let's to spread out his wings. They're on ball joints. There are 4 of them, and he actually has a pretty decent wingspan, given how he's not actually all that big. But he certainly does cover a lot of area when he's spread open like this. And those weapons that I pointed out before, have a sort of play feature in this form. You can see here that the white plastic, the transparent plastic, has a sort of semicircle sculpted into that. That's because this sword is pegged in directly in the middle here, and they are intended to sort of jackknife out like that to give him a little bit of extra length in his wings. And you can do it on both sides. And when you do that, let's put this up like that. He has quite a bit of extra wingspan now. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be. Some sort of attack mode, I'm assuming. Maybe those are supposed to be like laser wings or something, some sort of maybe lightsaber-like weapon that he can use to strafe people and cut them while he's flying. Not really sure. I guess you just have to leave that up to your imagination. If you don't like that, they're easy enough to ignore. You just swing them back into the wing and just leave them as part of the wing. You could even take them out if you don't like them. So to transform him is pretty simple, actually. He's not that complicated. But before we get into that, he has some interesting characteristics that seem to be shared with several other earlier releases in the Beastwars. His legs transform in much the same way that man-terrors do. And he's got that hinge here and the ball joint here, which is shared in common with Power Pinch. And his feet, when I show you them when he's transforming, you'll notice they are this platform shape, much like Insecticon. And of course, you can see already these back pairs of legs are connected to this assembly here, which are the arms of the robot, which are shared in common with the Waspinator mold. So there's several different engineering or design tricks that are in this figure that seem to have come from several different earlier figures, and they just put them all into one, and I think it works. It's good. He's simple but effective. He's got a little bit of articulation at that front leg too. They move separately. So to transform him, you simply flip these panels out sideways like this, and they'll snap into a position like that. And you can see now his foot is exposed. You can then swing it out sideways. Is it going to focus for you? There it will. And then you just straighten them out like that. And when you go to close this panel back up, it will bring that piece along with it, at which point you can just snap it back into this position. So now the arm is on the side and the leg is out. And you can simply do the same thing on the other side. Just a minute. Yeah. Just simply do the same thing here. There we go. And now move here to the back. And this whole section here is actually 3 pieces. And we'll get into that in another video. But for now, we will pull that down, and these pieces along with it, which brings the whole head of the cicada down. And now you can see the rub sign of this character. Yeah, it's hidden in the parts where you usually can't find it, unless you're transforming him. And that piece comes open, and as you can see, there's his robot mode head. And I'll just finish. You got to pull this out. The cicada proboscis out so that this will fold all the way back down. And now you have him. I'll just fold this up. Now you have him in his complete robot form. There we go. And I will move him back so that you can get a good look at him. He looks okay. Yeah. He's got a nice presence. A nice shelf presence. He has a fairly standard robot silhouette, excluding his wings, but his wings give him this sort of interesting appearance. Vaguely fairy-like, maybe? And he's got posability here. Oh, actually, there. That shoulder was not totally in yet. He's got posability here, here, and he's got posability in his hip and his knee, and he's got those double knees from those swivels. Yeah. See, he's got that double bend. And he's got those platforms, like, as I said, Cicadacon also has, well, you can plug in his swords into his hands as well. We'll do that in a second, but I'm going to show you his face for a bit here. Can you really see that? It's quite dark, so you can't really make out all the detail, but it's a very interesting shape. It's kind of an abstract shape. Sort of, I don't know, maybe there's supposed to be teeth in there, but they're all picked out in one color, so it's kind of, he sort of retains a bit of a robotic appearance, if not a bit rounded. I like it. And you can, like I said, take these bits and use them as swords. Interesting sculpting on them. And if you look, let's see if I can... Is this going to focus for you? Yes. Can you see the handle? The handle is a missile. But this figure doesn't actually have any kind of missile launching feature. Yes, so there's more going on here. So I will peg this into his hand, and now he's got a sword. You can actually dual wield them because there are two of them. He's quite likable. I enjoy him just by himself. When I was a kid, I had this figure and the two that went with him, and I quite enjoyed him even by himself, even back then. Anyway, this has been Beastwars Cicadacon. Stay tuned and be ready to see the next two videos, which will be directly related to this one. Tell me what you thought, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be off.